This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Warning on Haiti. A UN agency says the worsening security crisis has global implications as more Haitian migrants apprehended near Andros. An organization for responsible governance warning that no public sector reform will happen without the political will. And reacting to complaints about the country's tourism product. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, March 6th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be getting some information about our lives, March Madness, what that's all about. They'll tell us. And later in business, we'll get a preview of a women's seminar just in time for International Women's Day, which is March 8th, is Wednesday. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the UNODC, is warning in a new report that Haiti's worsening national security crisis has the potential to generate contagion with global implications. The report, titled Haiti's Criminal Markets, Mapping Trends in Firearms and Drug Trafficking, stating that, quote, if the country's security and development institutions disintegrate, a significant international response will be required, including large-scale relief assistance and a stabilization of or peace support operation. At a minimum, years of recovery and development investment are unraveling. The report says that organized violence is being deployed as a well-defined strategy on the part of gangs and their backers to subdue populations and expand territorial control. According to Haiti's UN Special Representative, at least 5 million Haitians are facing acute hunger, and education and health services, already faltering, are on the verge of collapse. The report adds that against a rapidly deteriorating security situation, the UN Security Council has demanded an immediate cessation of violence and urged all political actors to engage in meaningful negotiations and hold free and fair elections. Meanwhile, a group of 127 Haitian migrants caught on the western side of Andros. This happened yesterday morning. The Defense Force and Cuban Border Patrol alerted it. It said that Cuban Border Patrol alerted it to a Haitian vessel on Friday. The Haitian sloop was monitored as it was maneuvering and later grounded on the western side of the island. Following a high-speed chase on Carmichael Road, police capturing 3 men who attempted to rob a business. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez confirming this. The 3 men walked into business on Carmichael Road Friday before 2 p.m., but the men were disturbed, apparently, and ran outside. They jumped back into a black Japanese vehicle and sped off. The commissioner, who visited the scene with his senior team, said officers on patrol in the area spotted the car speeding east on Carmichael and gave chase. Several other police cars joined the chase. Chase ended near Faith Avenue. Fernandez says 2 of the men were arrested in the car. One of the suspects jumped out and ran to a nearby home, but was eventually arrested. A 51-year-old man granted bail as he awaits a second trial in relation to the death of a retired British doctor. Moses Morris has been in custody since his arrest for the murder of Dr. George Harding on April 4th, 2015. Harding was found stabbed to death multiple times at his home in Clarencetown, Long Island, and prosecutors alleged that Morris was responsible. However, a jury acquitted Morris of the murder charge last month, but they couldn't reach a verdict on the alternative verdict of manslaughter. As a result, the trial judge, Deborah Fraser, ordered a retrial on the manslaughter charge. Morris appeared before Senior Justice Bernard Turner for a bail hearing last week. His bail set at $17,000. 2 men fined after pleading guilty to possession of marijuana with intent to supply in separate cases. 41-year-old George Ferguson of Pinewood Gardens was given the option of paying a $5,000 bail in connection with the seizure of almost 5.5 pounds of marijuana at his car. Officers attached to Operation Ceasefire raided the car wash around 1 p.m. and arrested Ferguson along with 3 other men the day in question. However, following investigations, only Ferguson was charged. Also appearing in the same court was Jarvis Joseph, the 22-year-old. We're told police spotted on a mobile patrol seeing Joseph behaving in a suspicious manner. Officers stopped and searched him and found 2 packages of marijuana in his pants, totaling 5/8 of an ounce of marijuana. Overseas, the fate of the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut appearing to be hanging in the balance today as Russian forces continue to encroach on the devastated eastern Ukrainian city. But its defenders still deny the Kremlin the prize it has sought for 6 months at the cost of thousands of lives. Intense Russian shelling targeting the Donetsk region and nearby villages as Moscow deployed more resources there in an apparent bid to finish off the city's resistance. Civilians fleeing the area to escape the Russian shelling around the clock, apparently. Russian forces that invaded Ukraine just over a year ago have been bearing down on Bakhmut for months, putting Kyiv's troops on the defensive but unable to deliver a knockout blow. More broadly, Russia continues to experience difficulty generating battlefield momentum. Moscow's full-scale invasion on February 24th soon stalled and then pushed back by the Ukraine counteroffensive. Over the bitterly cold winter months, the fighting has largely been deadlocked. And roads blocked, oil refineries disrupted, planes grounded, and trains halted. Unions are threatening to shut down France's economy this week in what they hope is their toughest sign yet to President Emmanuel Macron and his plan to raise the retirement age. The first actions are expected today as truckers are being urged to block major highway arteries and interchanges in go-slow actions dubbed escargot operations, as in snail. Union plans are open-ended right now on the strike and on national rail service starting Monday evening. The government is bracing for the biggest disruptions on Tuesday when strikes are expected across multiple sectors and protests are planned in cities across France against the retirement bill. The reform, which would raise the official pension age from 62 to 64 and require 43 years of work to earn a full pension, is currently under debate in Parliament. The Labour Minister, speaking on the France Info News broadcaster today, said expressing disagreement is legitimate, but it should not lead to blocking the country, which would be dangerous to the economy. Authorities encouraging people to work from home on Tuesday, if possible. In sports, Bahamian junior swimmers Nigel Forbes and Renishka Gibbs highlighting the swimming team that will represent the Bahamas at the 2023 Carifta Swimming Championships. That's set for Easter weekend in Curacao. The two swimmers are part of a 36-member team that will look to lift the championship trophy for a fifth straight year and seventh in the past 8 Carifta meets. Swimming in the 11 to 12 girls division for Bahamas. A long list that you could read for yourself in today's Guardian Sports section. And by now you've heard, despite a few setbacks, including a disqualification in a relay event, the St. Augustine's College Big Red Machine finding a way to extend its lead on the final day of competition Friday of the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools Track and Field Championships. They rolled into a victory over the Queen's College Comets on Friday. Before SAC was declared the winner, the Thomas Robinson National Stadium erupted as SAC athletes and fans chanted and celebrated with Junkanoo music. They finished the meet with 1,324 points, a comfortable margin of 172 points over the second-place Comets. The Comets ended with 1,152 points. Third place, Temple Christian Sons, way back at 451.50 points. St. John's College Giants finishing with 381 points, and the St. Anne's Blue Waves, fifth, with 264.50 points. And from the NBA, there's no timeline for Ja Morant's return to the Memphis Grizzlies, and the All-Star guard knows he's made, quote, difficult decisions and poor choices that Coach Taylor Jenkins says he has to be accountable for. Morant was not with the team in Los Angeles for games against the Clippers on Sunday and the Lakers on Tuesday, while the NBA investigates a social media post in which Morant appeared to be holding a gun. Morant streamed the video on his Instagram account early Saturday of himself holding what appeared to be a gun at a nightclub hours after playing in Denver. He said in a statement through the agency that represents him that he takes full responsibility for his actions and that he was going to take some time away to get help. Coach Jenkins, though, declined to outline the steps Morant needs to take to rejoin the team, saying, quote, "We love him, we want what's best for him, we support him. It's going to be a difficult process, but we've got a great group to get through this." The league, if it finds wrongdoing, could also fine or suspend Morant. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a weak frontal boundary that will remain stalled just north of the Bahamas, while weak high pressure dominates the weather across the islands. Beachgoers should continue to exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic-exposed beaches. Mariners and motorists can expect visibility to be reduced during early morning hours, as there could be patchy fog again tomorrow. Fog will dissipate shortly after sunrise, though, so all clear at the moment. For all areas, we're looking at partly sunny and warm conditions, with the slight chance of a few isolated showers today, becoming mainly fair and warm tonight. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times across the northwest and central islands. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Temperatures today getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to about 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. So will this frontal boundary bring in any cooler temperatures? We'll tell you all about that in your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It is time for break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
On your march.
Carifta is almost here, and Alliyah has partnered with TCL for you to capture gold at the 2023 Carifta Games. Switch to Alliyah and get a free TCL 30 Plus or TCL 30 SE on select Alliyah postpaid plans to share pictures and videos of our Bahamian athletes as they hit the tracks to win gold. Visit your nearest Alliyah store or mobile van location and come gold with us at the 2023 Carifta Games.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 4224796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Pamela Musgrove. Good morning, Pam.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to have you with
Good
us.
to be here.
This is the, first Monday of March. Eh? Boy, wow, I tell you.
It's going fast.
It's flying by, flying by.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Time flies to get older.
Yeah, you're moving
older.
on. You're not
moving
staying
on
stuck.
is right.
Yeah,
Oh,
not staying stuck.
But anyway, hopefully it is good. Yes, for everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. All right, coming up this morning, we're going to be talking. We're scheduled to talk with Alive. They've got a March Madness special going on. They'll tell us all about that. And then later we'll get a preview of a seminar just in time for International Women's Day and talk about some things that women, especially women in the working environment, need to be thinking about at this time. So that's all ahead, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, pick up today's National Guardian. A lot of great stories in there, including the UN warning on the worsening situation in Haiti and how that could have implications for the whole world, especially the Western Hemisphere, I'm sure, this region. As the flow of undocumented migrants continues, a group apprehended off Andros over the weekend. And, of course, there's sports news. Everybody's still talking about the SAC people, at least, still talking about their win again at BAISS.
Are you upset?
No, what, upset? Can't be upset.
Are you disappointed?
I mean, you know, hey, this is the sun gets up in the morning and SAC wins BAISS. That's just how it is, apparently. Not much you can do about it. It's like, hopefully not this year, but like Jamaica and Carifta, right? Or the Bahamas and Carifta swimming.
Yeah, yes,
right?
yes,
so, hey,
yes.
look at that. And these things
We've come to expect that.
We just come to expect that. There you go.
BAIC.
And,
Okay.
You know, oh, well.
Congratulations to
congratulations to all the
SAC.
students and all the other kids. And
Yeah.
I think Temple Christian, that's a surprise to come third for them. And my comments coming second, as also usual, apparently. But that's all right. You know,
Well, second is better than third, and second is better than not placing. So that's good.
Thank you, Pam. You know, this is one thing about the Bahamas. We are very consistent. Everything. You're not going to be surprised too much around
But it's
here.
not because other schools aren't trying. It's just SAC is the better team, or maybe they have a program that promotes that, and so they're just better. So congratulations.
That's an interesting word. But yeah. Well, there you go. Congratulations to all the students. I know everybody did their best, and that's all we can be. That's all we can.
What I like
wish
about
for.
it, though, it really gets, like, even in the office, you know, you have persons who either went to SAC or they have children who go to SAC or their spouse went to SAC. Like, they are tuned in. I mean, they know what's going on. There's an excitement in the air. And so I like that high school competition can get the excitement amongst adults. And hopefully, like, when we have these Olympic trials or Olympic or even Carifta trials, we can get that kind of excitement as well, where people are coming out and supporting.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Well, we'll see. I need to verify. I'm sure this is verified. But yeah, so we've got the notice from Purity Bakery that their prices will be going up effective today because of the increases across the both the domestic and imported bread and rolls portfolios. So another thing that's going up, right? Another thing not to be surprised about too, eh?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Early this summer, I think there was a lot of noise in France when flour and all those things that were used to make bread went up because when the price of bread goes up in France, that's a big, absolutely. A major indicator of hard times.
They'll be
and that
breaking
was
wine bottles after that.
So there was a lot of upset regarding that. And so, when you have that staple good going up more than it has, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, yeah. And earlier we told you what's happening in France this week. They are very angry with the president trying to raise the retirement age.
Yeah, they were trying that
means-
for a while.
Yeah, which means you have to, it's moving from 62 to 64, and you'll need to work for 43 years before you be entitled to a pension.
That's not bad, though.
Oh, well,
I mean,
they
the industry
clearly-
standard is
it's-
65, right? The international standard is 65. Like our retirement age is 65. We have early retirement of 55.
55 or 60?
No, there are persons who do early. There are companies who do early retirement at 55.
Oh, okay. But
Now,
I
in
work
terms
with
of national
NIB,
insurance, yeah, you don't
no,
you don't get that. But in
60,
terms of a company,
NIB, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's but they're very angry. The 2 years making a big difference, and they are prepared. They're ready. Going to be blocking off the streets and calling for everybody to not work this week to show the president. But this is what they do. Right? Not necessarily violence, but they will be very, very vocal to show that they are not pleased. Whereas all weekend long I was talking to people about this, how in the Bahamas we just see, I'm not encouraging anybody to block off the streets and do this stuff, not really, sort of.
Well, see, that's the thing. What I get from you is you want protest, but you want to be nice. And sometimes protests turned out
Sometimes, but
not
not
to be
always.
so neat
That's
and
fine.
clean.
Yeah, they don't have to, though.
So if you accept protests, you have to accept what comes with
A
it.
chance that might happen, but not necessarily, right?
But it very
people
well
will
might
be
happen.
people won't be happy. Some people, but I mean, you got to say something. Whereas here, instead of doing that, we'll be like, oh, they will never go for that. They won't like this. They won't ever change this. Who's the they?
I think generally speaking, we are passive people, right? Because if they were to call a mass rally, right, where they're telling us like what they're doing in France, me personally,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't attend.
Because you know what happens here? It gets taken over by personalities. And so you can't see it for the bigger picture because it'll be led by one person because we have to have a king or a god.
No, I
around
think for
here.
me, like even if I believe in the cause, like that's not my personality. I wouldn't want to go out there,
Yeah.
but I would be behind the scenes saying, I agree with what you're saying. That's right, right?
And
And I think we have a lot of that type of personality.
80% of the population,
yeah,
it seems.
see, so
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is why they have massive changes in France. They've had massive in the 50 years since we've had independence and have seen much fewer changes. But more grumbling.
Yeah. The challenge with France, I think, is they have a very inflexible labor system, and that's been causing them. Like a lot of the big companies didn't want to come because it's so difficult, and so they've been trying for years to try to pick at this. Gradually. Trying to have reforms in the system, and at every move there's pushback.
Yeah.
There's major pushback. So I understand this, but their labor laws are very, very inflexible, and it has hurt their economic growth, and it's hurt the economy.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But
And they also said France is one of the countries that pay the highest tax rate, but initially they were okay because they were getting the services to match that high tax rate. But now I think they're up in like 40+% in terms of government revenues, tax revenues to GDP. They were up there. I mean, they were out there by themselves. But now they're getting a little uncomfortable because the population is saying that the service has deteriorated.
yeah.
And they are paying their taxes without that level of service. And I think that's something that we can look at as well. Like we're paying taxes, but we can't see,
Right.
generally speaking, where the tax dollars is going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's quite something. What interesting studies with the two types of countries and how we deal with our issues and what gets resolved. Quite a contrast there. All right. I want to talk about something else, though. Over the weekend seemed to be a lot of this. A lot of people were commenting this. I sent you some of these, Pam. As usual, this is not new. This has been going on for decades, it seems. Commentary about our tourism product. And there was an actress, comedian on one of the U.S. late night shows. I think it was the Jimmy Kimmel Show. She, roasted the Nassau Paradise Island experience from beginning to end. She had, I think it was even more. She got to exhume as well. She was swimming with the pigs and had a horrible time there. And
I
she
think it
named
started off with her Airbnb.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
so
that's
it was an Airbnb problem.
Yeah.
Then she got to some hotels, and they were having problems. And then everywhere, and she was naming names. You know, when we criticize, we hardly ever say names. Because, but she went on, and oh man, it was everything. And that's fine. You know, you have the right to complain. The format, the forum for it was a little. I don't know if people would normally do that. Get up and roast from beginning to end, but that's fine. Legitimate concerns, and what are we going to take from that? Then there was just last week we posted on the Nassau Guardian the article about the cruise port welcoming a record number, and then the comments from the folks, mainly Americans it seems, who were not nice at all about good God and what are those people doing in Nassau? If they only knew, I wouldn't get off the boat last time I was there. And all those people to get their hair braided. And it was on and on and on with just terrible comments about how it was a filthy city, lots of people begging and panhandling and harassing them for stuff, drugs, and not painting a pleasant picture.
The thing about that, Dwight, is that we've heard those comments, and those comments have come from port, from persons who oversee the port. They've come from cruise ship owners who have said these comments. So for the most part, they're basically telling, what we believe is truth.
Yeah.
That's
we
a
can't
challenge,
deny it. We
right?
cannot deny it. Many Bahamians don't like to go downtown. And many Bahamians will say there is little to do here, especially if you've been here before. When you come back, what's new? And here we go again. And I don't know what the average Bahamian is expecting is going to change here. I've said it before. What I know needs to happen, and what makes us very different from most travel destinations in the world, right? Where there's a dedicated group of people managing the city and curating the experiences. We have left that up to the hotels. And if you're not staying at one of the nice ones, you've got a problem because there is nothing else that is organized for you. Nothing at all.
Sometimes when I'm headed to work, I take that back street rather than going on the main base street. And I take the back street. And I see tour buses lined off. So I'm saying, there's something, these people are going somewhere.
Yeah.
There are at least 15, 16, maybe up to 20 tour buses just lined off, waiting as persons come off.
Yeah, well, you're going to look at that fort. Look at that tower. Look at this. Nothing happens there now, but 50 years ago it was saying something. Look at that. And so, sure, first time would be great, but if you've come here before, what are you going to do? The same tour again? That's a challenge. And in many places that you and I and everybody else travel to, you don't go there for 6 months to a year, and there's something totally new to do and see. Can we say that about Nassau, Freeport, anywhere?
Now, the comment about the city, I heard this. Someone told me tourists were complaining about this as well. It's really dirty.
Yeah.
And it's nasty. We could fix that. We could fix that.
How long will it stay fixed?
No, but we could fix that on a continuous basis. If you travel to major cities around the world, you see early morning, if you take an early morning flight, you see there are people out there cleaning the city. They have the big trucks. We can do that. We can hire people to do that on a consistent basis. Not once every 5 years, but on a consistent basis. That's your job, to keep the streets and the city clean.
And not with the regular broom.
No. No.
Right.
And no side subcontractors. I'm talking about a real company where you have people in uniforms.
Yeah.
And this is your job.
You know where that you just said
clean.
it. You see that in other cities. You know why that
Yeah,
happens, right?
I know your point.
Because the city manager, the city management system, right? They deal with that.
Org is saying no public sector reform without political will.
And you know why there's no political will? Because we keep saying they will never fix that. So they don't see us as having a real desire for them to change their ways.
I don't think so.
Oh, yes.
Because we've seen where we've had leaders that make promises to us, Dwight. I mean,
all they do.
But that's all you can have for right now, unless they show you who they are. That's why I don't understand why some people still trying to come back.
It's already 2 years in, and already promises that were made, they're telling us to our face. That's not a priority right now.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Okay.
You said that's what you were going to do, and that's what we wanted.
Okay.
And here we are, only 2 years in, and that's not a priority right now. We got to deal with this first before we can get to that, which means it's not going to happen.
But at this point, right now, we can't do anything about that.
I don't know.
Based on the law, based on our system, we cannot do anything about that. But we can eventually do something about that.
You could block a road.
Right?
You could block
and
a
so
road.
that's what I'm saying. So,
Block a road,
you
block a
have
road.
you have leaders that you have political organizations that make promises to us. They get in there and they do not do what they say. You take the last administration.
Oh my God.
Maybe over 80, 90% of the promises that were made were not fulfilled. So what the Bahamian people did, they got rid. That's why I don't understand why some people want to try to come back.
Right?
Right? Because you promised people that you would do something and you just didn't do it. It's almost like the old people say, bold-faced lie.
Very much so. But they think we're stupid, and sometimes we prove that.
But we're not. We're not. And if they want to try, then by all means.
Yeah. But
Try again
But they will
and see
try,
what you
Pam.
get.
That's the nerve, the nerve. But these folks are doing the same thing. That's not a priority right now. But right there in this thick manifesto, blueprint, whatever you want to call it, these are the things you're going to do.
And they will be judged. They will be judged.
But we will end up in the same place we've always been because all of them keep doing this to us. And we can't sit back and say, well, there's something we can do right now. We've got to stop that.
Okay, what can we do right now? Help me out.
I say, let's read about what France is doing. Give us a call,
You want
folks.
a riot? You want a riot?
No, I didn't say riot. But 323-6232. You got to show people that you're serious.
Well, maybe see the thing is-
325-4316. 325-4259. Never a riot.
Why don't you
Never a
start the
riot.
campaign, Dwight?
Yeah. And then-
Start it.
But then you see, it all becomes, it becomes a thing. There's that Dwight strong guy, or everything's a name. There were other movements. The names were out there, and when the names fell away, the whole thing fell away because you keep looking for Moses, for a hero, somebody to lead you out of this wilderness.
No.
And this is, although it wasn't Moses who did that.
It has to be organized. Because if it's not organized, it will go nowhere. It's that divide and conquer. Whatever you do has to be organized. And sometimes with organization comes a leader that emerges. But if everybody goes out and everybody's their own master, you're going to have chaos.
Yeah, I get that. Although, would you notice that chaos versus the chaos we have now? Anyway, good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
That's me?
Yes. Good morning.
Godly day to you on Palm, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. Dwight and Palm, I occasionally I just have reason to be downtown, right? But, of course, hello?
We're listening.
Yeah. Bay Street used to be my kick, okay? But now I walk downtown, and when I see what's happening on Bay Street, it makes me shame as a Bahamian. You got guys who are driving tour bus and taxis and stuff. They're rowing and using profane language over a job. They don't know how to talk to the tourists that travel over the place. Not only that, the place smell, stink, okay? Urine, feces all over the place. Then certain places, before you get to, just before you get to, after you pass Shirley Street to come over the hill, right? You got hedges all over the place, all kind of dirt. You walking on the sidewalk, you kicking garbage of dirt and all kind of stuff like that. This place are just filthy, man. And it has to fix by those that's in authority. You got to start there. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? You go in the House of Assembly, you doesn't have you doesn't have paper to dry your hand with. Man, it's just nasty. This place gone, man. Something needs to be done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be saying this throughout this whole conversation. The answer is decentralized government.
I can believe that.
Decentralized government. You need local management for the island of New Providence. And it's a big island and the majority of the population of the country. So divide that up, and have various district managers. This is the only answer. And those people need to have visions, and they need to be elected, not a company that is hired. They need to be elected to be answerable to you. And when you are done with them, when you cannot take the foolishness they are doing, you need to be able to vote them out or even recall them before that time. You need to be able to manage what they are doing for you.
That was one of the promises during the last administration as well, a recall system.
Yeah. Well, that was what was one of the suggestions for the Local Government for New Providence committee, right? A recall system, but of course you have to be living in the area and have to know the problems firsthand. Why are we waffling on this? You need that. You need to have visionaries who have a plan for the city, for the various districts. We need this in Freeport desperately, for every part of Grand Bahama and throughout the entire country, where the local authorities are driving the development of the area and have a plan. We have not had anyone ever manage any part of New Providence. And it is so obvious that this thing is just growing up like weeds wherever you want to put it. No plan. And it will continue like this indefinitely. And don't ever count on a public transportation system if the central government is responsible for it. It's never going to happen.
I agree with you totally.
Never, ever, ever, ever. So don't be foolish and think, the government is... Shut up. Shut up now. The only thing you should be saying is to your MP, we're done with this. That's the only thing you should be saying. But until then, get used to that smell, Bremen. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Pam.
Good morning.
Good question. Do you guys have any? Do you guys have anything about doing any work to the water towers yet?
Work like what?
Fixing it, trying to get it open up.
Open for tourists?
Yes.
I mean, people say these things every few months, years, but you know what's happening.
Yeah, because the water tower now been closed for 19 years.
Wow.
19 years. The number one tourist attraction. That way you have 3 historical sites in one area. The Queen's Case, the water tower, and the Fortune Castle.
Yep.
It's like government come in and government come out, and nobody look like they want to touch it.
Yeah. They've got bigger priorities. Everything else is more important.
That just generate a lot of money into this country.
I'm sure. And if it's that bad, I would build another one. Build another one bigger and better, and let everybody come and see the entire island.
Yeah.
Because you can see from the last time I was up there as a kid, you can see the whole island.
Yeah, it's 216 above sea level.
Public-private partnerships.
Beautiful.
Where the government owns the property, but then you get a private company to invest in it, and then they charge persons to see it, and they get a good chunk of the profits.
Yeah.
That's throwing it out there.
Plenty of ideas out there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Looking at some of these comments, I bet the Starbucks corner was jammed with people taking advantage of free Wi-Fi. Where does the money go from all the passengers getting off the ship? Bahamas Shore doesn't put it back into the town. Looks like... I won't say that word.
Oh. Probably smells like that too.
But this is what people are saying, and this should really touch our heart.
Bahamians are saying it too.
Yeah, but people, imagine someone came to your home, right? And they left writing stuff about your home. And what they say is basically true. Shouldn't that prompt you to want to do something? Right? So for a town that opens its arms to guests, and where we say we get most of our US dollars, our reserves from, I think we should do more. And a lot of it, like I said, it's the government's job to keep the city clean. Now, if you can't do it, then you contract it out. to a reputable company, hold them accountable to keep the city every day.
I would rather the city do that.
I understand you, Dwight, and you know, like what I said, right? I support your push for local government, but in order for it to happen, we need the political will of the people that we put in power. And until it gets
very
there,
few of them compared to us,
right?
Very few.
Well, until we get to that point, what are we going to do in the meantime? We're going to sit, complain about not having it, and then the city continues to deteriorate? Or are we going to find reputable companies that can get the work done until we find a leader, until someone emerges, whether it's in our lifetime or down the road, that will say, this is, because that's what happens. It's the leader. If the leader wants local government, it would happen. That's where our political system is.
Oh, dear. Okay. No, I reject that, Pam.
Now, the other way that you're saying to have it,
there's all kinds of peaceful protests you can do. There's lots of ways to show your displeasure with the way this system is operating. And that right in this term, these folks right now can do this.
I agree. But do they have the will to do it?
They don't, because it doesn't seem like we do. It doesn't seem like we do. It doesn't seem like we do, because there's going to be a whole lot of people saying, but for now, let's get a private company to do it. That's because that's all we want to do around here is make certain people rich. Give them the contract to do that, and they'll have that for 50 years, 100 years to manage this. And that is what we do best around here. That is a disaster waiting to happen. I guarantee you. And even if they do well, the next government's going to come in here and mess it up. Guaranteed.
I think in the meantime, we have to do something.
In the meantime, we need to look at France. This is the first time, because I'm calling for a boycott of France, right, for the Olympics. But France is right today. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Good morning, call. You're on the air. No, let's take the other call. A caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn. Good morning to both of you.
Hi.
Good morning.
I have an idea that I think could really help to go very far in fixing the system. You notice that we seem to be rotating leaders every 5 years. Okay, we're fed up. The tourists are coming and they're seeing the mud that we live in, and they're becoming fed up. Noticing now that they're being pinned against the tourists who are speaking out, perhaps what we could do when these electors come around, put up a forum showing what they're promising to do, and have the tourists become more involved in expecting to see the change within the next 5 years, because they come like every 5 years. And if we pin them against the business that they should be doing and performing, I think we may get more results, because watch, as the international community respond to how dirty the place is, you're going to see some sweeping up. It's sad. If the prince is coming, there's going to be some sweeping up. It's even more sad. We don't have people who want to clean themselves. They just want to clean a few. So pin them against the international community, and I guarantee you they're not going to look. They're not going to like the way they look. It's going to look bad for them. What do you think?
A temporary fix, right? Temporary Band-Aid, and that's they'll do that until we forget.
That's why I said it needs to be on a consistent basis. Like he mentioned, when we had the Prince and the Princess of Wales coming, I mean, we just the streets where we knew they were going to travel.
And only those.
Yeah, we just cleaned those stuff. You notice that image, putting this image out there, this optic out there that all is well when all is really not well. You need people to do it on a consistent basis. Every day, 7 days a week. You're keeping, in particular, let's start there first with downtown, the city of Nassau. You're keeping the city of Nassau clean.
Yeah. This text here, Dwight, you know why we can't get local government in Nassau?
Why?
It's because of Pam. Yes, Pam. She said it. People like her remain silent, and only a handful of us speak up. So, child, that's the person there. Say blame Pam.
No, don't blame me. This is my personality, and I think a lot of people's personalities like that too. But we want change.
Yeah, no,
but we're not
I mean, I
prepared to go
understand.
there and fight for it.
I mean,
like
but
that.
like I said, there are other ways that can be other ways that we can do it. I'm going to get in trouble if I tell you some ways that you should do it. It's not appropriate for me to do it, but. Hit me up on the side, I'll tell you.
I think whatever your approach, like if I can agitate for it, there's some people who are bold enough to go and protest. You do that.
Yeah.
Whatever your approach within law that you feel comfortable with, then do it. To agitate
I've
for
said on the
change.
show before, you don't have to get violent or disrespectful. But if every time you see an MP, so I know while you're asking for the update on your contract, and that, right? Say, hey, what are you all doing about local government for real local government for the country?
And they say, we're working on it, stay tuned.
But we need that like right now.
Yeah, we're working on it, stay tuned.
Before next year.
We're working on it, we're working on it.
I'm serious, I'm going to ask you about it again.
I'm serious too, we're working on it. We are working on it.
Because if next year, this time, but anyway, have a good day, MP, right? But like that every time, and then also let me know about my contract.
That they're working on it.
Oh, okay. All right. And then next year, like you said you were working on it, but nothing's happening and downtown still smells,
Still working on it.
You sure you're working on it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that you're working on it anymore because you've been telling me that for a little while now. I don't know. I just make them feel very uncomfortable every time they. Just like if everybody were doing that, you don't think that would change something? Like everywhere I go, people keep asking me about this thing. Like, what's going on? Like, yeah, me too, right? All 40 of them saying that.
And I think sometimes it has to do too with the people that we elect to parliament, right? Because you don't see their causes. Like a lot of persons, right? Like there are articles in the papers that I think some of our leaders should be writing. Like you are part of organizations that support, or have different causes on their agenda. But we have a lot of persons like you heard nothing about them. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden they're taking up this big cause, and then sometimes their heart isn't there. So I think it has to do a lot with that as well. I want to see more of our elective leaders. I want to know something about them prior to. Like, okay, that's a cause that they picked up prior to getting into politics. And so maybe there would be a passion behind that cause. But where
are you moving to? Which country? If you want that, Pam, I don't think you could be here for.
That's why I say I want it. I don't see it, but I want it. And hopefully if we have more even future politicians that are coming up, like pick up a cause, something that you're passionate about, then we could be assured that they will be passionate about effecting change. But if you weren't passionate or we couldn't see that you were passionate about anything, then how we expect then when you get into government to push for any significant change to occur?
I agree. The phone lines are all lit up, and we got to take a break. We'll be back with more on this. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
A whole lot of soda. Feel alright.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Philippine President Marcos has ordered police to crack down on illegal firearms after shootings killed a provincial governor and 8 others in a crowd. President Biden visited Selma, Alabama yesterday to mark a solemn anniversary.
In a ceremony that honors the past and warns of the future, President Biden called for a new commitment to voting rights at a commemoration of Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. There were religious overtones to the solemn ceremony at the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where on March 7, 1965, scores of peaceful civil rights marchers were brutally attacked by police.
Beaten, tear gassed. On this bridge, blood was given to help redeem the soul of America.
President Biden notes the country's outrage helped secure passage of a voting rights bill, which now, he says, remains under attack. I'm Jackie Quinn.
And I'm Rita Foley.
It is time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic this morning, Milo Butler Highway, as usual, your hot spot of traffic today. Heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tony Williams Darling Highway. That's in the northbound lanes there. We're seeing some delays on the Tony Williams Darling Highway as well, westbound to that roundabout especially. Over on Gladstone Road, busy, especially as you get closer to about midway between Fire Trail and JFK Drive. But the issue this morning is on JFK Drive. Some heavy traffic along Lake Cunningham, eastbound, to the roundabout with Bahama Boulevard and Glaston Road, and then that stretch between that roundabout and between Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. That is busy for you as well. Traffic is backed up in both directions there along JFK Drive, and that extends onto Prospect Ridge Road, especially southbound. Heavy traffic there. Keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. You're going to be seeing a little bit of traffic northbound on Prospect Ridge Road as well. So, something unusual going on there. We'll find out what that is. That is not usually the case at this hour, so we'll get some details for you before the next update. Carmichael westbound, heavy traffic there on the way to Coral Harbor Road. And Blue Hill Road's busy for you, especially north of Carmichael and Soldier on the way to Independence Drive. Elsewhere, Eastern Road seeing some heavy traffic from about San Souci to Johnson Road, mainly westbound. Bernard Road, very busy for you as well, westbound. And pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially near the major intersections like Foxhill, Beatrice Avenue, and Soldier Road. Robinson, just west of Soldier between Old Trail, busy for you as well. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. And time for another check of your weather for this morning. We've got a weak frontal boundary that will remain stalled just north of the Bahamas, while weak high pressure will dominate the weather across the islands. For all areas today, look for partly sunny and warm conditions with a slight chance of a few isolated showers, becoming mainly fair and warm tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the frontal boundary near the northern Bahamas will dissipate through Tuesday as weak high pressure will dominate weather across the country. Another weak frontal boundary is expected to clip the northwest Bahamas by Wednesday. So will there be a break in this heat? Doesn't look so, not much. But Tuesday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and very warm with a spotty shower or two during the day, mainly fair and mild at night. Wednesday, partly sunny and warm, the slight chance of a brief shower or two during the day, mainly fair and warm at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages and the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's gone soul.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:18, time for another check of your weather for this morning, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a weak frontal boundary that will remain stalled just north of the Bahamas today, while weak high pressure will dominate the weather across the islands. Beachgoers should be alert for the slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposed beaches. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly sunny and warm conditions with a slight chance of a few isolated showers, becoming mainly fair and warm tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that frontal boundary near the northern Bahamas will dissipate through Tuesday as weak high pressure will dominate the weather across the islands. Another weak frontal boundary is expected to clip the northwest Bahamas by Wednesday. So for Tuesday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, very warm, spotty shower or two during the day, mainly fair and mild at night. Wednesday, we've got partly sunny and warm conditions with a slight chance of a brief shower or two during the day, mainly fair and mild at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. At this hour, we're still seeing the issues on JFK Drive. The traffic is backed up even further now along Lake Cunningham. Eastbound traffic, that is. Not a usual thing at this hour, but it's heavy traffic straight through. And JFK's seeing a lot of issues between the roundabout of Bahama Boulevard and Gladstone Road to Tonique Williams-Darling Highway and Prospect Ridge. A lot of westbound traffic and slow going for you eastbound this morning. Gladstone Road is busy too, but not the full way. Just near Munnings Road, you'll see that line heading toward the roundabout with JFK Drive. Traffic is clearing up, though, on Prospect Ridge. Just a bit of congestion northbound heading toward West Bay Street. West Bay Street busy as you get around Go Slow Bend and make your way towards Saunders Beach and the roundabout with New Providence Highway, and further east as you head toward Arawak and into downtown Nassau. 6-legged roundabout seeing some building traffic on JFK Drive eastbound and southbound on New Providence Highway. Mila Butler Highway is your hotspot, though, this morning. Heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tonique Williams-Darling Highway. Elsewhere, we've got Eastern Road, seeing some heavy traffic from Sans Souci to about Johnson Road. Bernard Road is busy for you as well. And East Street, heavy traffic mainly northbound from well south of Bamboo Boulevard all the way up to the roundabout with East-West Highway and Independence Drive. Pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially Robinson Road and west of Soldier. That's what we're seeing. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC First Caribbean, and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Nassau's gone funky, Nassau's gone soul. We've got a doggone beat now, we're gonna call our very own. Nassau rock and Nassau road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul. Feel alright. Mini skirts, maxi skirts, and afro hairdo. People doing their own thing, don't care about me or you. Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's got soul now. Oh yeah. And we got a doggone beat now. We're gonna take care of business too. Listen to the drummer playing his beat.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove on this Monday morning. All right, so we've been getting a reaction to this complaints about the tourism product here, and it's not new, and we know that these are not false. These are not false complaints at all. And here we are again. And what are we going to do? What has been done since the last wave of complaints? Every time, right, we have it comes at us from all sides, and yet here we are. Obviously, the way we've been doing things isn't exactly working. So we're getting your reaction to it and what needs to be done. I'm saying that they're not going to see real change if central government is still the answer to all of this. Very few things that really should be in the hands of central government, to tell you the truth. But you can't have them managing cities. It's not how it works. All the countries that you love to visit, that you have your children going to school in, that your family members are living in, the president or prime minister of those countries don't manage the city in which your loved one lives.
Okay. So what percentage of the population you think love those cities or have their children going to those cities? I imagine is of our population. I imagine is not a great percentage. And so the percentage that don't experience that cannot probably relate to what you were talking about. Because you're saying that in defense of your argument of having a...
Well, for those who've traveled, they know.
Right.
But okay, fine. Even if you don't travel and you don't know, is Nassau working properly?
No.
Is Freeport working properly?
But many persons may not be able to connect the importance of local government to helping the city run better.
Yeah.
A lot of people will agree
But if they knew...
it's not running properly.
Yeah, and why?
But now how to
I
fix
take your
that
point,
is a whole different...
And we need to clearly do a new series on how it would be different and why decentralized government works better to address your community needs, and why not relying on an MP who's supposed to be a lawmaker to fix the bad street light on your block or the potholes or the fact that it takes you 10 hours to get to that place that you can see because of the traffic, why that isn't a top priority for this person.
And give practical examples of cities that have local government and that are working.
Yeah. We're going to do it. That's one of the big goals for the show this year. We're going to show you other ways to do these things. Let's take some calls and get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And Bob.
Good morning.
Boy, Dwight, that's the longest wait I ever wait. A Guardian month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but
Sorry about that. Okay. Well, glad you stuck it
worth
through.
the wait. But, right, when it comes to tourism product, right, the question is, what tourism product, right? The Bahamas don't have no tourism product. The Bahamian people work for a tourism product that is owned by foreigners. And this is why we see the areas what once used to be owned by Bahamians when it comes to the tourism product, right? They turn their back on that, right? And our governments are willing to sell out any situation, right? For what they call jobs. Now, when we have to come under denial, right? That we continue to vote for administrations would show us that they are not interested and nothing we are talking about, because if they were, Guardian FM couldn't have been even existed. Right. If we had leaders what was seriously interested in governing, your show couldn't have stand. Couldn't.
Would have anything to talk about.
You know why? Because why? We would have been seeing things happen in a fast enough time because there'd be no talk show. But the last point is
I don't know if there's anywhere in the world where that's possible, but I mean, there's always going to be something. But I hear you. There'll be much less to talk about.
Not to the extreme. Right?
And we wouldn't be talking about the same things for 11 years. Oh my gosh.
But let me get you this last point before I go, Dwight. When it comes to the water tower, Dwight, I'll say over 20 years, right? Because I used to go up there a lot of time, and if you could, and you remember up there, right, Dwight, you literally could see what and they had a telescope up there, so you literally could see everywhere on no problem.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You know how scary it looks from up there now, right? When we have 62 shanty towns riddled all over this country, and then the immediate area, what used to be so tranquil and beautiful, right? Where the water tower is a rundown area. So there's nothing for us to highlight. What we need to do in this country is make a decision if we can continue going around this roundabout, or we can dig this roundabout up and make some highways, man, so we can get out here quickly.
Yeah.
Guys, have a
Thank
nice
you so
day.
much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's take another call, and then we'll get to your messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Scott. How you doing?
Doing well.
Morning, Ms. Musco. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Good, thanks.
Boy, Dwight, you and JJ been saying the same thing for years, Local government, and got to get rid of this Moses crew, JJ been saying that for years, Mr. Scott, years. And you want this local government. I could see that happening. But, my brother, that will never happen while these old people here in charge and just thinking about them and their immediate family.
All right, because it can't just be me and JJ and a couple other people, right?
No,
so we need you and Pam especially and everybody to make some noise about it.
I preach that like you. I preach it like you all the time. Just like you, I preach it when I go around amongst my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what needs to happen. We all need to get together on one accord. And just like you say, all these MPs, you got to name and shame them, because if you don't name and shame them and call them out right on the spot, they ain't going to know better, you know.
Yeah.
They ain't going to know better.
You see Bay Street? You see Bay Street, Mr. Strong?
I do.
You see from East Street go east? You see a horrible lot? Look. I saw the other day MP or cabinet minister, she cleared on one house talking about people going inside that they do nonsense. Why they don't get on those people who own those places out there?
Yep.
Why they don't get on them? Because Bay Street looks horrible. You know this to be a tourist, and you come there. Only thing you have to do, when you come off the cruise ship, you turn right to go to Johnson Beach, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go left at all. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all have a good day.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and again, we're not even smart in the way we could take advantage of how horrible it used to be. I keep saying it. I'm not joking. I kind of am. I'm not. Seriously, I charge people for the zombie theme park. Just walk. If you could make it to the bridge without being harassed,
I think what we're
you
seeing,
get a free pina colada. I don't know, something. But,
I just think what we're seeing is a lack of vision, and it goes back to my point about people that we elect to government who show no interest. Like we would get someone to run a whole ministry when they showed no interest of this outside of being in government. And so that's going to cause a problem. And so there's no vision.
Yeah, but
if
Pam,
you had
that's
a
the
vision,
system we have here, right?
No, but it can work. If you have people with some, there's no requirement, no educational or otherwise requirement to be in government.
But Pam.
But it helps when the people who are picking candidates, you need to look for people.
If that person is associated with a party with a clown leader, you won't vote for that person in your constituency. You have to vote for that other clown.
No, I think
because you don't want their leader to become the prime minister.
No, yeah.
And this is where we are shooting ourselves in the foot. No. All these people that you talk about can't win if they're on the wrong team that election.
Yeah. I believe Bahamians, like myself, want to vote for a party. What we have been doing is voting a party out largely because of the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think many people want to vote for a party. But because because these parties
the party want to vote for the person.
They want to vote for the individual. Because
yes,
if you vote for
person.
enough person to put the problem that we have is you may be a good person, you may be working in your constituency.
Mm-hmm.
But the fear is if I put you back in there, your leader's gonna go back and continue doing what we disagree with. And so what we have been doing is, in order for us not to risk that person being returned, we got to send everybody or most everybody packing. I believe Bahamians want to look at the individual and vote for the individual.
Mm.
But if that leader at the ticket, if people are not pleased with that leader, they're not going to take the chance because you did not stand up to the leader. The fear is if I put you back there, your leader may go back there.
Absolutely.
And then we have the same thing over and over.
This is why we are right where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. This person says here, sorry, but the Prime Minister doesn't have time for foolishness. He's traveling and tourism is sinking, crime rising, taxes growing because government is focused on Haiti's problems. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Lazy Bahamians sit back and watch others fight for their own rights. That's why we have 50 years of failure and laziness. Okay. Another message here. This is not for this show. Okay. What is this? They're talking about the comedian on the show. Nicole told no lies. The CYC crew are the same rabid sheep who cloak darkness. It was her experience, and she has the right to say, if it was If the nation really thought she lied, then invite her back and give her a better experience. And nobody said that she lied. We're not saying
Yeah,
that.
no.
So that was the right forum to lay it all out there for everyone and calling all the names of every place. But no one said she lied.
That's what they do in America. That's what they do in
that's
America.
great, beautiful.
So that's fine. That's what they do in
that's like
America.
she just-
They expose. Yeah.
Chopped everything down. But I admire the defense when it's justified, but y'all making us look tribal defending our garbage tourism product. We can do better. I don't know who the y'all is, but yes, some people were defending, but that's the experience she had, and many people have had similar experiences. And that's what we're talking about. What
Yeah,
can be done
I've
to
heard
fix
that
it?
she was being unreasonable and it wasn't fair what she was saying. I've heard that in the commentary in my circle.
Yeah, some people say that.
Yeah.
But, we know we have problems. This person says, I went downtown on Saturday night. People were out there basically naked and harassing people. Why do the police allow, they're calling one person's name in particular, to walk around there? Okay. Yep, yes, naked people urinating everywhere. That's what downtown is. Downtown Nassau. Ah, boy. This person says, Lord. Where was I the other day? I'm like, what in God's name was that smell? And I realized, this is not only where you buy food, this is also the toilet. I quickly got what I wanted and had to leave immediately. But that's how
I
it
heard
is.
they had about 70,000 tourists last week. Have you seen that big boat? Like you can, if you're coming down, where's that street where the hospital is on that hill? What's that street called? The hospital? Right through there?
Not Hospital Lane?
Yeah, I guess it's
Okay,
hospital.
maybe that
Lane.
one.
You can see the boat.
Yeah. No, it's huge.
It's a huge
And
boat.
more of them are
Dwight.
coming.
Wow.
This person says maybe our government should treat downtown like CARICOM is meeting there next. And maybe then they'll keep it. Maybe it'll
But
be
see,
clean.
the thing about it is we just need consistency, Dwight. It shouldn't be where you clean it every so often, every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. But the thing about this is like occasionally you clean. Or some persons who only try to clean up the house because you have a guest stop by. So if you have a surprise guest, then you're gonna be embarrassed. Right?
right.
But you have to do it every single day. There should
Exactly.
be a contract to keep that city clean every single day.
Indeed. This person says our Bahamians have to be prepared to stand up and go to the streets for issues we are convicted about, staying in the background, believing in the cause, but never coming forward to stand up and make it clear that the majority
Do I
want change.
detect that that's something that's
why-
thrown at me? That's not like there.
It's at as you said, 80% of the population who won't speak up. Yeah. Hire people to clean or manage people to clean the city. We pay people to work. We don't make sure the task is done properly. Another one here. I think Pam's overreaching. The former administration has made promises. They were delivered on some, but the global pandemic automatically shelves them because dealing with the pandemic was priority. Come on. I expect better.
Freedom of information, corruption law. I'm not talking about the stuff that the pandemic could have hindered.
There
I'm
were
talking
a
about
lot of
stuff,
things they could have done.
Yeah.
A lot of things, Texter. A lot that they could have done, especially in those. If he hadn't called that early election, there were a lot of little things that could have been
Local
done in the
government,
6
they
months.
promised local government, even set up a committee for local government.
Two
a lot of those
terms,
things, the pandemic couldn't stop those.
Term limits, campaign financing, a lot of these things could have been dealt with. Absolutely. So we're not buying that.
Yeah.
So forget that one. This person says that the dirty narrative is applied to Nassau. You all know that. So why try lump in the other islands? She vacationed in Nassau where there are no public natural sandy beaches. No, we're not going to do a us versus the other islands type thing here. She did the swimming with the pigs. I don't think we have that, not much here. So clearly they were in a different island. But in any event, we know that we have these complaints about a lack of things to do. That's what the folks with the cruise ships, we're not just talking about Nicole. We're talking about the cruise ship reaction.
Comments,
The Nassau Guardian posted this story, and then another cruise site picked it up and posted it. And then the people were like, why?
Someone said, 2 places I stayed on board. 1, any Bahamian port, and 2, Jamaica.
Whoa. What? Did they give any reasons?
No.
Any Bahamian port. Well, now you got a problem, right? We have a problem. Why do people say things like that? And somebody asked that too. How many of those, despite having all those ships in town, how many of the people stayed on the ship? Right? And I told you that before a few weeks ago. Which holiday was that? Majority Rule Day went out. No place was open. And there were hundreds of tourists in town because it fell on a weird day.
We were driving downtown this week, Sunday morning, headed to church, and there was a cruise ship that overnight there. And I was saying, we should have cafes. We should have places where people can go and experience the Bahamas with a nice breakfast. And it was nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Just nothing.
One place was open on the fish fry that morning.
I'm talking about downtown. We drove downtown.
Right. There's nothing downtown.
People just walking around aimlessly.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You get off the ship 9 o'clock, nothing to do. And we claim to be, right? So big and into tourism and been doing it so long, but
we've dropped the ball.
We've deflated the ball. We blew it up. There is no ball. A couple more messages before we take a break. This person says, why does this country seem to be so very hard to run? Is it a lack of will or a lack of ability?
I think it's a lack of vision.
Yeah.
And then I think that coupled with a lack of will.
And I do think this system is problematic for us. Yes, it might work in some other places, but this is not the best system for this country.
And I also think our resources are so limited. I mean, just picture your parents just working, going out, working, trying to put food on the table, that they don't have time to think about the other stuff, whether you did your homework because I'm out to work. And not because they want to, but because that's the circumstance they have to deal with. And so I think in some ways, our resources are so limited. So the concern is just, the basic things that we have been thinking about for so many years and not looking at the aesthetics of our country or improving it. Because I could take this money and put it over there. Why should I take this money and put it over there? Because you don't have the vision to see the reward that you can achieve by investing it into this product. And so the money goes on some contract or to pay union, increase in union fees or some other stuff that we constantly do, but not helping to improve the product.
Because all of these islands need to be managed.
Yeah.
They need, and those things that you mentioned are very important. They have to happen too. But it can't be the same people doing it all. Decentralized.
Because they're going to decide to
They have to decide what's a priority.
Yeah, and that's their priority.
Say, putting a new water tower here so that tourists and Bahamians can enjoy it, how is that a priority compared to this group that has to be paid because they're owed all this money? Yeah. Let those people in that city deal with that.
But then sometimes we do make decisions that, like for instance, investing $30 million in a baseball stadium where it's not even nowhere near completed. That could have been money probably you put on the water tower that could generate income down the road.
If a city decided that, as opposed to the central government that has hospitals that need to be fixed, if the city said, we have found the money for this because we can charge people taxes and all this stuff, it would be better received than hearing your central government did that. All of these things that we're doing here don't make sense if it's all coming from one area of governance. But if it's decentralized, the city can make the case for it. We've got a public-private partnership. We have raised the money for it. That's not going to be a big problem for the whole country. But this city has decided that this is going to be beneficial to us and we can make a case for it. Easier pill to swallow. Not for everybody, but for more
but when you could see where the money is going, it would be better. Like you could see, okay, we invested, the government has a partnership with the port, and we invested over $200 million, and we could see it coming to life. We could see it coming to life. So if you can show where the money is going, then I wouldn't mind paying the tax maybe in order to help this product because I can see it.
And if you hate it so much, you could move to another city in the country where they don't have the tax
it becomes a problem.
Where it's not the whole country has to swallow this, right? In Nassau, they're doing crazy stuff, but I'm going to move to Freeport because over there they have a better idea of how to manage this city. That's the future we hope. Well, I hope to see where, right? The option is I got to leave the whole country. I could move to a different part of the country where they're doing something different down there. We got to have the vision, as you said, for that kind of progress and the will. Yeah, we're gonna take a break, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, Nassau's gone funky, Nassau's gone soul. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own Nassau Rock and Nassau.
You know I will be good when I come to you. You gave me food, clothes, and protection too. You said don't worry about a thing, just show your loyalty. It's the comfort that we'll bring. When I look around, I got tables and passport working on my visa. I don't gonna be straight. Boss lady tell me send for family. She can clean the house and iron the clothes for me. Confidential, it's a confidential thing. This matter is serious. We don't know what it will bring. Confidential, we must regulate this thing.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Pamela Musgrove, and we're changing gears here. Alive, got a lot going on for March Madness. Here to tell us all about this, very pleased to welcome Assistant Manager for Affinity Mobile, Rev, and Alive, Christine Williams. Great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
And Pam.
Pamela, it's great to be here.
Get a little closer to that
Guardian
mic
this morning.
for us. There we go. All
Yes,
right.
it's great to be here with Guardian this morning
Yeah.
to talk about it's crazy, and it is madness.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let the Bahamas know what's happening here at Alive in March Madness.
Okay, so what exactly? I know March Madness, we're talking about basketball usually, but what is Alive doing?
Oh man, it is so crazy. Dwight, for the entire month of March, Alive wants you to believe in amazing deals. Oh, I felt in my spirit someone is asking, what can customers look forward to? Let me tell you, amazing prepaid, postpaid, and device discounts.
Okay.
Free data when purchasing a new eSIM or switching over to the better network. Discounts on Ring products, exclusively available at Alive when joining postpaid. I ain't finished yet. So, discounts on Ring products exclusively available, like I said, And in case anyone out there in the Bahamas does not know what the ring is about, protection, security. Once you purchase that, you put that on your house, your door bell, and you can see whomever is coming at your door.
Do y'all do the installations too, or that's?
No, we don't do the installation. It's pretty simple. I got it, and listen, I am not technical savvy, but guess what? If I can do it, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can purchase the ring from Alive? From
Any
Rev?
of yes.
Okay.
Selective stores, the Cable Beach as well as Southwest Plaza.
That's good.
All right.
And then
More.
let's talk about so much more. Let me talk about the TCL Thursdays. Listen, 16th and the 30th. Now, I didn't say the 16th through the 30th. The 16th and the 30th. Pay attention to those 2 days. Okay? Customers can look forward to additional deals at all Alive locations across the entire Bahamas. Did you hear that? The entire Bahamas on the TCL 30 SE and TCL 30 Plus.
All right. That is some good stuff. And this is only for the month of March.
For the month of March.
So you got to act now.
Act now.
Already 6 days in, right? 6? Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about it. Some of those other things like prepaid versus postpaid. What are some of the differences you're going to see between the discounts and the specials that you're going to get there?
Well, I'm not going to share that now. Once you get there to the store, we'll give you all that wonderful information.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
However, I want to tell you some more that it's happening here in the month of March Madness. I want to talk about the fixed line. We want to get some people back on our cable. We want to get some people back on cable. However, for our Rev customers, what you expect in the month of March for all our sports fans, like I said, we want to get some people back on cable. But when you sign up or upgrade your broadband services, it gives you discount on devices with Alive. So once you sign up for cable services, you also get discounts with Alive. Signing up and upgrading to Trio gives you the chance to win a Ring doorbell. So we're giving away a lot. I tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's madness. Madness here in the month of March. Also, when you sign up for our Trio, you're familiar what Trio is, right?
Yes.
Cable, internet, as well as phone. You'll be eligible for 50% off the Liberty Elite postpaid plan.
These are some good stuff. And you're saying we need to do this now because there's no guarantee you're going to get this in April.
No guarantee.
Oh, boy.
Now, we're always here for you.
Right.
We have a lot of people out there walking around with a ship without a sail, and they are not alive. We have some alive customers, but we're trying to get everybody alive here to be alive at Alive
All right.
in the Bahamas.
Yeah. And you said get people back onto cable too. We got a lot of basketball to be watching this month, and so Pam and others out there. I don't know. I'm calling your name just because you're in here with me. That's all. I just saying, right? You know, this is the time.
We're gonna have a conversation.
Inside jokes, folks. Inside jokes. All right. So somebody's asking, what about MiFi? Any deals on MiFi? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, man. We always have deals on MiFi, so it's one of our devices as well. So of course you would get the device itself free, and the only thing you're paying for is the plan.
Especially if you have Trio, right? If you have Trio, you can get it free.
You get discounts on that as well.
Yeah. Okay. This is good stuff.
And for those who may not be aware or familiar with what that is, that's you can take that anywhere you go in the Bahamas. And that affords you the internet service.
Excellent.
Yes.
What do you have for tourists? Because there was one of the comments where they say they have to go on that strip where Starbucks used to be to get free Wi-Fi. Do you have products where visitors can buy, probably get an eSIM where they can use Wi-Fi?
Yeah, we do.
At their Liberty?
Yeah, we do. We cater to tourists as well. We're not leaving anybody behind. We're not leaving anybody out. So they definitely can get to any of the vendors downtown. They can go and purchase. We have specific vendors.
Yeah. All right. So what can you tell us about internet speeds and where we can expect to see fiber to the home. When is that coming? What are we looking at there?
A live fiber to be announced soon.
Soon? Because people are asking. Someone says they're ready to hop on board.
I know, and guess what? I'm so excited about it. You'll be able to get up to a gig. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So people are excited. All right. So one more time, let folks know about what's going to be happening this month with Alive and Rev. What's going on?
You will be able, when you sign up for Rev, you will be able to get discount on devices and plans. You will be able to get your Ring doorbell for security purposes. On the Live side, for the entire month of March, we want you to believe in amazing deals. Of course, you will be able to get your postpaid, prepaid, when you come over to the BAISS network. You will get amazing discounts and amazing deals on devices.
Okay. All right. It sounds like this is going to be a blast. Yeah. Again, only for the month of March.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's madness.
March Madness, Christina.
Bahamas, get ready. The 16th and the 30th. Don't forget it.
Those are big days to look out for.
And guess what? If you're not sure, and for those who might have missed it, let your friends know. They can go on any of our social media platforms and you can read up more. We have everything you need and all your wants.
Okay. Excellent stuff. Christine Williams, thank you so much. Great meeting you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
It is a pleasure.
All right. We're going to take a break for news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, March 6th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove, and the countdown is on to International Women's Day, and there's a big Women's Day brunch coming up in just a couple of days. Here to tell us about that and talk about the theme for the event as well. Very pleased to welcome back to the show. It's been a while. Kim, welcome. Communications specialist with influential voice. Kim, always a pleasure. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dwight. So wonderful to be here.
And also with us from BAF Financial, we have Alliyah Austin.
Yes,
good morning. Welcome to the show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
All right. So let's talk about the event, and then we'll get to your role in it as well, Kim. The International Women's Day, that's going to be, that's March 8th always, and that falls on Wednesday this year, and a number of events are planned. We'll be talking a lot more about it, especially on Wednesday. But this Women's Day brunch, this is not the first time this has happened, right?
No, it's not. It's actually our second annual Women's Day brunch. Mm-hmm. And so we're definitely excited to bring it back, bigger and better. It'll be this year at Bahamar. And so we're excited. Kim Welcome is one of our speakers, along with an array of other amazing women, coming to talk about tech. So we're super excited.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about that and the theme and tech and what we can expect and women in tech as well.
Yeah, definitely. So internationally, the theme is Digit All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. And so what we did is the event itself, we kept it strictly more very advanced technological. So when you purchase tickets, that's strictly online based. When you come, everything will be more digital. So you register, we'll do it by scanning. Also, audience will be able to interact with the speakers via their phone, WhatsApp, texting, and stuff like that. So we're definitely trying to keep the tech feel.
Even if you're there. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay, that's pretty cool.
So we have speakers such as Kim Welcome, and then we have Aisha Bowe, aeronautical engineer, and we also have Jamie Patton. So she's a CEO of a tech park in Canada. So we're super excited. And then we have our very own mobile tech champion, Sidlane Fouquet. She heads our app and the advancement of it. So we're super excited.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about tech in a bit, but I mean, the event, this is, tell us about the cost of it. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So it's $50 registration fee, and it's not for profit. Actually, the proceeds from the event will go towards diabetes awareness because BAF, our mantle this year and moving forward will be to definitely push awareness in diabetes, especially in women and children.
So it's essentially free, but the money is
Yes.
going towards a wonderful cause.
Yes.
That's great stuff. All right, so let's talk about this. Women in tech, and there've been lots of crazy myths over the years about this, but we've seen you mention some big names just now. A lot of heavy hitters, women, are in this space. Let's talk about that and the changes we've seen, and the messages it sends to young girls and boys as well out there.
Yeah, so what we want to do it's like to let women know that you can do it. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. A lot of times over the years, we've seen a lot of men in the tech field. And so now we're kind of making big, bold moves as women to step out there, kind of be brave, get out the status quo, and just challenge the norm. So our event is going to be unique. So everyone there will be women. So our photographer, our DJ.
Oh, wow.
And so the only persons who will be male would be our IT team. And it's because we really don't have much females in our IT team. But we're really definitely trying to go along those lines and get women to understand that, hey, you don't have to go based on what society tells you to do. Whatever you want to be, you can do it.
Yeah. Do you see attitudes changing? And Kim, you can jump in as well. Do you see things changing? Everybody?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kim, you could back
listen,
me up on that.
that's everybody who knows me knows probably I'm not a tech person, but I'm coming to serve up that inspiration and empowerment to follow whatever it is in your heart that you want to do. And if it's tech, ladies, go for it. I mean, who said that our brains are built in a certain way and we can't do whatever it is that we want to do? So I love that. I'm so excited about who you have on the platform too.
Yep.
Aisha Bowe.
Yeah, you
Nice.
mentioned her. She was at NASA for a while there,
Yes.
making a lot of making big history, making
Yes.
waves. Yeah. All right. So, what do you think needs to happen to get more women aware and involved in this sector?
More of this, more of creating that awareness, creating that, putting it out there in the forefront, and more of bringing the women who have already arrived in the industry and letting them be that kind of someone that younger women follow. So once we see that, okay, they were able to achieve it, then we know as younger persons and the generations coming up, well, I can do it too. So it's kind of just like to continue to highlight, to continue to push, and to continue to keep it in the forefront, you know?
There's a conversation going on about equality and equity. Equality means everybody's given the same resources. Equity recognize that some circumstances are different. So in this space, do you think women need equity as opposed to equality when we're dealing with this technology and innovation?
That's a good question. It's a good point. I guess, Kim, you can jump into. But I would say we need a little bit of both in a sense where women need the opportunity to be considered as well as they need to be rewarded when they are considered, if that makes sense. So I think it goes hand in hand. So we'll give examples. So say, for example, take IT, for example. The average person will not look at a female for that job because it's not the norm. So now we want to kind of switch it. We want to say, let's consider a woman. If she wants to put herself out there, why not? You know?
Is that really the case?
It is the case. Believe me when I tell you, I'm a career communication coach and I work with professional women all the time. And the ones who are in IT, no matter what level they're at, no matter how expansive their knowledge, they are typically relegated to administrative roles.
That computer can't work. Figure it out.
This is so common. Wow. And even though they are heads and tails above their male counterparts, they are just seen in a certain way. So they get the lower end work as far as opposed to the leadership work.
So then what needs to happen? So do we need some equity now to help women in this area?
Definitely.
Because I guess we all have the same opportunities and choices, but when we get in there, it needs some help.
Yeah. That's right. First, women need to get in there. So that's the first point. And then when we get in there. So like we said, once women have arrived, it's good for women to support women when they see other women interested to help rise them up and bring them up as well.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just thinking back, and this is an embarrassing story, but the first time that one of the utility companies sent a woman technician, I was like puzzled when I opened the door. I'm like, and then she was fantastic.
You had unconscious
But it was very weird. That was a while ago,
Right,
but I can imagine that is not an uncommon experience for a lot of women.
Still.
And she really was, and she explained everything well, and it's like, can you always come back, right? But I can imagine that's disturbing and heartbreaking.
It is.
Really.
But sometimes we are our own barrier as well.
I'm sure plenty of women they probably get a worse reaction from women than men.
From women than men.
What do you do about that? Why
here?
is that? What do you do? Is there something that can be done?
Boy, that's a tough question. I don't know, but
I think it starts from in the schools. I think what they're doing now in the schools and making girls aware that you can be whatever you want to be, and you don't have to be limited to what your parents feel or what society feels that you should be, but you could be anything. I think it starts with the primary school, encouraging females. That I have a 6-year-old nephew, and he came home from school the other day, and he told his mom, I don't know, some of his friends were discussing it. Girls can't do everything that boys can do. You can't do that, mommy. Daddy's supposed to do that. And she says, of course not. Girls can do anything boys can do. So I'm like, where did you get that from? It's not in the school. So obviously a group of guys are together and they're discussing how girls can do some things that boys can't do, vice versa. So, I think it starts in the schools and in the home, helping children to see, or girls, that they can be anything they want to be.
Sadly, plenty women are telling their daughters this too, though. Plenty women are telling their daughters this too. It's very sad.
Well, subconsciously, women are, we're conditioned in a certain way that makes us act in a certain way. So, like with my coaching with my professional women, we are conditioned to wait for the boy to ask you to go to the prom, right? So when they get into the corporate space, they wait to get a tap on their shoulder to tell them, you can do this, or, we want to promote you. So a lot of times in that corporate space, women are not really being assertive out there, right? And so they're taking what is being given as opposed to driving their own careers. So that becomes a problem too, right?
Yeah. But that's some pain in there, because if you're too assertive, then they associate with that.
Now, see, the truth of the matter is there's no such thing as too assertive. That means you're aggressive. But when you really understand what assertiveness is, it's about building bridges versus walls, right? So aggressiveness is what causes people to stand off. And we do become aggressive when we feel like we have to fight our way through, right? So we're like the angry black woman, right? Because we feel like I got to fight for what I want. But when you come with a different mindset And you're like, no, I have something to give, and guess what? It's just as important as what you're giving, and I don't have to fight for it. I'm just going to be matter of fact about it. It just comes across differently.
Yeah. Well, Kim, tell us more about your address, what you're going to be focusing on.
Yeah, so I'm going to be focusing on empowerment. I just released a new single. It's called Don't Tell Me It's Too Late. And that was written, just to myself, really. It's not too late to do anything that you want to do. Whatever it is, go on and do it. And so I am kicking off what I call a keynote concert tour. And that, I'm a speaker and a singer. So I'm incorporating my music, my inspirational music, into my what people may call a motivational talk. And it's kicking off at BAF Financial's Women's Brunch March 8th, and I'm so excited. But the name of this tour is called Reclaim Your Destiny. And so that can be really for anybody about anything, really. But in this instance, it's about reclaiming your destiny. If in your heart you know that you want to be in tech, then by God, go and do it. Don't let somebody stop you, or, all these crazy mass consciousness, things that people say, and it just conditions your mind to think that you can't. You absolutely can. And I'm excited about that because, I will be speaking, but I will be doing some singing too.
Yeah, you don't get that every day at a regular brunch, right? So this is going to be great, and we're going to play a little bit. We won't play the whole, because you're going to launch it at the event, right? So we'll get a little bit of it in just a bit. But listen to this text here. This person says, Dwight, could it be that women aren't interested in technology inherently and not because of social conditioning? Why doesn't it feel like they want more numbers as opposed to letting nature take its course? Oh, boy. What do you say to that text and that texter? Are we forcing these things on people
I think
be?
It's an unfair. That question was kind of crafted in an unfair way. I just said to you, there are women who are in technology and they're working at companies, but they're given the administrative roles. They're not allowed to move forward into the leadership positions of those type roles. Now, what say you to that? Because they've gone to school, they've gotten certifications, they've done everything. That means that they're interested. But the opportunities are just not there, or people just don't see them in that light.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. So if you want to be a part of this, you said it's for women only, right?
Women only. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You want to come, Dwight? For you, we make an exception.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what time, where, what do you have to do if you want to be a part of it?
Okay. So if you want to register, once you go on our Cash and Go website, cashandgobahamas.com, you click on the events tab and you will see International Women's Day Brunch, and just purchase ticket now. So we'll have just slight information we need from you: number, email, name, and then that's that. You're registered. And once you arrive at Bahama on March 8th at 10 a.m., we'll come before 10 a.m. because we start at 10. You bring your phone. We will digitally register you. We will scan your code, and then you're permitted in, and just have a great time after that. That's it.
Yeah. How many people can you accommodate?
100.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not too many. You got to get in quick.
Yeah, so you got to get in quick.
Right.
We wanted to be more intimate, and we wanted to have more of like a really exclusive experience.
And so how long are you anticipating it'll be? Because it is brunch.
So we'll be wrapping up about 1. Okay. So between 10 to 1. Yeah. And we'll also be highlighting or featuring our 2 female executives as well. So for a very long time, BAF were only headed by men. So we're definitely excited to announce that we now have 2 women on the executive board. That's Ms. Deborah Parker and Mrs. Royanne Ford. So they will be there and they will address the women as well.
Okay.
That's great.
Wonderful stuff. Right. Give us the site again to register.
So it's cashandgobahamas.com. Go on the events tab and then select International Women's Day Brunch.
Yeah. All right. And Kim, what's the name of your song? again?
Don't tell me it's too late.
Okay, so we're going to leave you with that. A little bit of that as we go to the break. But Kim, welcome. Thank you so much. I really
you.
appreciate Alliyah Austin. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to hearing great things come out of your event on Wednesday.
Yes, we're definitely excited.
And happy International Women's Day to everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Again, we'll have more on that on Wednesday here on the show. But we're going to leave you with Kim Welcome's new song as we go to the break.
Sucked in by the sands of time, life moves way too fast. Hindsight so impeccable, but I'm no victim to my past. Such passion for what I was born to become can't seem to quench the fire, no matter how long they may take to achieve. Dreams do not expire. Don't tell me it's too late. I've got to live my dreams. Can't leave this up to fate. I will claim my destiny. Don't tell me it's too late now.
Boy, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I boy?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Welcome to the power of Visa, with access to thousands of travel and shopping and dining discounts with up to $1,500 in savings yearly with Mobile Assist's new prepaid Visa travel rewards cards. Book the cheapest flights, even cheaper than Orbitz and Expedia. Get cash back at participating hotels, car rentals with automatic insurance, and online shopping discounts at U.S. stores like Gap, Best Buy, and more. Get your 30-day free trial when you download our Mobile Assist app. Visit Mobile Assist/rewards now for your prepaid Visa travel rewards card.
At Doctor's Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off labs, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. While there have long been calls for strategic public sector reform, a recent study released by Organization for Responsible Governance, concluding that only political will can bring about the kind of transformation that is needed. The study, conducted by Dr. Yvette Pintard-Nuri, reviews the public service reform efforts of several countries, including New Zealand, Jamaica, and Barbados, and pegs them against efforts attempted in the Bahamas. The report and recommendations to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the public sector in the Bahamas, that's the name of the report, takes the lessons learned from those case studies and suggests 9 recommendations to bring about effective public service reform. Atop the list is political will. The report points to Jamaica's high-level political leadership and Barbados's establishment of the Office of Public Sector Reform in the Ministry of Public Service. It says that new administrations generally have the political capital to effect change. Pointing to a lesson learned from Barbados and Jamaica, though, it says that if change is to be implemented and sustained, there is also the need for political will. And you can read all about this in today's Guardian business section. A carbon credits trading firm has gotten conditional approval to operate in the Bahamas, according to an article published by Blockworks, a media and information site centered around the crypto space. The company is called Capturient. While Blockworks said it received its information about the conditional approval by an unnamed source, Capturient's CEO, James Rao, confirming that the company is in the process in the Bahamas and is expecting to be fully registered soon. Chief Justice Ian Winder has ruled that an insurance company pay the insurance claim of a development adjacent to Lifer Key, albeit at a significantly reduced amount. In the matter between Bolingbroke Limited, or is it Bolingbroke Limited, and which entered into a policy for its development at Jacaranda at Christie Terrace, and Summit Insurance, Insurance Management, and Island Heritage Insurance, the Chief Justice ordered the judgment to Bolingbroke in the amount of $352,052. However, the company had sought a $1.02 million claim, the loss of the property, and more than $441 million for a loss on content claim. Details on that in today's Guardian business section. And NPOs, nonprofit organizations, are in a position to help fix some systemic problems and build community projects that will move Exuma into an even better place economically. That's according to the co-founder of NPO Friends of Exuma, Bob Coughlin. Coughlin, speaking at the Rotary Club of East Nassau's regular meeting, explained that he and a team have been brought together to fund park projects, empower Exuma residents to begin their own projects, and to raise money and to tackle vexing infrastructure problems that threaten the economic viability of an Exuma landmark. Overseas, South Africa's ever-worsening power crisis, in which homes and businesses go without electricity for up to 10 hours per day, strangling Africa's most developed economy. President Cyril Ramaphosa hoping that by creating a new cabinet post, electricity minister, his government will be able to curb the rampant corruption and mismanagement that have put the country in the dark. The president is also to name the new minister in a reshuffle later today. The new minister will focus solely on dealing with the crippling power cuts. Ramaphosa saying in his State of the Nation address last month, declaring a state of disaster to deal with the electricity shortages affecting the country's 60 million people. While the president is expected to also announce the appointment of a new deputy president in the reshuffle and deal with cabinet ministers who have openly challenged him, the naming of a minister to try to solve the electricity shortage is what everybody's talking about. South Africa's state-owned power utility, Eskom, has implemented rolling power cuts across the nation for years, but 2022, last year, was the worst, and 2023 has started with even longer outages and no solution in sight. As a result of the extensive power cuts, South Africa's central bank now forecasts GDP growth to be just 0.3% in 2023. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BAISS from Friday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 22,400 shares, closing down 1 cent to $3.55. Cable Bahamas moving 1,000, up 1 cent to $4.50. Consolidated Water up 2 cents to $3.08. Emira Incorporated down 10 cents to $9.48. The BAISS All Share Index closing at 2,598.59, down 1.17. Recapping the week. The local market ending the week with 59,600 shares crossing the exchange, with 17 trades accumulating a value of $280,270. The BAISS All Share Index gaining 9.05 points, or 0.35%, to end the week at 2,598.75. Year to date, the index is down 46.31 points, or 1.75%. The week's volume leader, Commonwealth Bank, moving 26,000 shares in 5 trades with a value of $92,372. The value leader, Cable Bahamas, moving 25,000 shares in 3 trades with a value of $112,350. That's your Market Watch, and that's your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight to CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio at 6:30 p.m. And we're back here with Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Pamela Musgrove. Interesting story there about South Africa. Oh, man. I was going to say nice to know we're not alone in having... But, hey, that's a horrible situation, and it brought back terrible memories of the issues we were seeing just a few years ago with the blackouts and the power issues and the load shedding. And... My God. Seem to have a handle on it. Things aren't. But every time you say this,
yeah, that's when you allow public property to deteriorate.
Yeah.
Not constantly investing and reinvesting in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
When someone is making that judgment call to say, okay, this money it can be better served over here as opposed to what it should be intended for.
Yeah. All right, so I want to get back to what we were talking about earlier with tourism and what's going on and the product that we have. When you get a reaction to what should be good news about record cruise numbers, but the people responding to the article are all mostly negative, saying how there's nothing to do, it's dirty, it's nasty, it's horrible, oh my God, why would they get off the cruise, that kind of stuff. We have a challenge, and it's not going to be everybody, because some people were saying, I had a great time, it's beautiful, right? But others were saying, no, people were peddling drugs, people are just trying to braid your hair, everybody's trying to sell you something. You can't walk 2 feet without someone trying to sell you something, and how annoying that is. And we know this has been a problem since I was a child, and it's gotten worse. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? All right, so that comes, a lot of other things have been coming up in our discussion, including the need to decentralize the government so that these things are managed better, because right now we don't have that in any part of our country, any type of management of cities or towns. Really, there might be somebody who makes sure that things come on and stay on, but in terms of a plan, in terms of what we are offering to locals and visitors alike, no, we leave that up to individuals and folks to come in there with money and decide that this is what they want. And if that doesn't work and they pack up and go, then we're back to square one. But a consistent plan of what we're offering in terms of nightlife, daytime life, holiday life, what's going on, a steady stream of events, a calendar that is right, that everything isn't all jammed up into the final 2 months of the year, that we can have it throughout the year, that anytime you visit any one of these places, there will be something going on. No, we don't have a plan. Not at all.
As it relates to the local government part, I remember a minister saying after you guys released your report during the last administration that if they allow this, what will the members of parliament do?
Yeah.
So maybe we need to start there.
Yeah.
And to show where, if you have local government, this is the role of the city managers and this is the role of a member of parliament.
And the fact that a member of parliament said that shows you that they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. That's very scary. But they are members of parliament. They're legislators. They are lawmakers. They're to go in there. And all these laws that we have issues with, that people are like, this isn't enough time as a penalty, or this is too much time, or why don't we make this illegal? Why don't we not make this illegal? That's what they're supposed to be dealing with. What do when they get in there? Talking about whose party they went to last night and how they visited this place and all. Get to making the laws better,
because
folks.
Culturally, that's what we do.
Oh, my God.
Culturally, that's what we do. So that's what they think their role is, right? You are first and foremost a legislator. So everything in this country is governed by law. Everything's supposed to be governed by law. And so if it's not working for a large section of your population, you should be in parliament trying to fix it.
Yep.
I don't think they got that memo.
Clearly not. They think they are community leaders, and to an extent they are. But what they really seems like, many of them, they need to be getting into local government. Perhaps they should run for a city council somewhere or run for mayor of some place, because that's what you want. You want to be here opening this building and be seen to be
Well, maybe they think
this.
it's boring. If you're just passing law, then who would you give credit to? When the city is running properly, you are going to praise the city manager.
Go
You don't praise the member of parliament.
Maybe it's not for you. You don't like to read long bills? Yeah? Well, then it's not for you. You don't... Is it too boring? Yeah, probably. But there are some people for whom this will be perfect, because they have the legal mind. They understand the implications. They can look at a bill and say, this is going to cause problems. Because right now, if you're getting up to talk about how you had such a great time with the constituents of blah, 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 as opposed to This law is going to cause a nightmare for my people in my constituency. And
Well, see, that's why it's good. See, that's why I think you need a regular people with regular professions, because you need to look at that practical side of it. Because you may have a lawyer who is so technical that they cannot see how this is going to impact the small man.
No,
and
we
you
definitely
need
don't want only
people,
lawyers.
members of parliament in there to say, no. If you do that, then this is going to impact
Right.
my constituents.
You don't want only lawyers. Absolutely not. But it doesn't hurt.
And that back and forth is how you come up with the best product to help persons.
Absolutely.
But I don't see that happening.
We're not doing it. No. And then this is what happens. Every time you vote for somebody who kind of sees it, next thing you know, they get saddled with some ministry, and they're too busy dealing with that because there's lots of things happening there. But the one government for it all, for everything in the entire country, has not served us well.
And they cannot step outside of the party, because if they do, then they're going to get cut down and they won't have an opportunity to run again to impact the change that they feel that they can.
They aren't doing anything entirely well. They're doing too many things and not doing any of it well. They're not representing us, because you only see them every 5 years, as people like to say. Of course, because they're very busy doing all kinds of things. So they're struggling in these ministries because they're not an expert in that field, and they're around a bunch of people telling them all kinds of things, and they don't know what to say and do. And they have to be very careful not to offend the prime minister. They can't speak out against what's happening, even though they were elected by the people, because they may lose their big cabinet post. And we are here every single year. We have the same thing over and over and over. Nothing is changing, and Nassau and Freeport continue to look the way they
deteriorate.
How much longer will you sit back and say, they got to do something? They got to do something. Who is the they? This texter says, though, Dwight, I don't agree with your plan. You want to add more bureaucracy to this small country when we should be advocating for less amount of people on the government payroll. I feel like all we need is one member of parliament for Nassau. You're insane. Compare our parliamentary representatives ratio to people versus countries like the United States. All right, texter, let me tell you something. You are right in many ways. It's not more government, more people on the government payroll. I'm actually going for less on the central government, but devolved.
Yeah, decentralizing.
Decentralized government. Right? Break up some of these ministries. They don't need to be national ministries. Some of these need to be local departments, and let them have a budget. But the city funds this. The city needs to be able to raise the taxes and to raise the funding to pay for these people, not the central government. Right? So you're breaking it up. It's not more necessarily government. It is on the ground, not detached government. That is what we need for many of the things we're seeing here. Yep. There is no plan for the city of Nassau, for New Providence. And again, let's not just focus on downtown, because Carmichael needs it too, right? That is springing up. There's more activity on Carmichael Road than Bay Street.
And I think you have to look beyond, because I think one of the reasons probably why government doesn't see the urgency of it is because when we brag about having 7+ million tourists that visit our shore, government is getting something from that automatically. So they may not see the urgency to want to, like, you have a whole strip downtown with no businesses.
Yeah.
Nothing for persons to do because they're getting their taxes from
numbers.
That. But then if you have this city management, like you mentioned, the fact that downtown is so deserted, that's lost revenue. But if you can get businesses operating, wouldn't that be more money in the treasury for the city and for the government? But the fact that you have these buildings sitting on Bay Street, they're not paying any taxes for having the building to deteriorate.
Yeah.
You're not making any money.
Yeah.
But if you can fix it where they can make money, then that's more revenues.
It's the greatest scam in history. More people coming to a place with less to do than ever before, and they're making more money?
And taking all that money back with them on the ship, right?
It's like, what is this?
Yeah, you need to...
So are they really as angry as we are when we have to drive through there? I don't know if they are. They're seeing, all they're seeing is people.
Yeah.
People still coming, though. Yeah, we winning. Okay.
No, it's the port. And I think one of the good things, though, this is what I think is one of the positive out of this, is that even though when you leave the port area and you come onto Bay Street and they are disappointed by what they see, at least they see that work is being done. on the port, and that's motivation for when they come back.
Really?
That's kind of like a little something for them to take home. Okay, I didn't like what I had down there, but I'm coming back. I want to see what you're going to offer me, and hopefully it could spill over onto Bay Street, Dwight. But who controls Bay Street? The government. If the government does nothing and allow those buildings to sit there unused, run down, and then when you demolish a building, who's paying for that? If there's a private building that needs to be demolished and the government does it, who's paying that? Taxpayers.
No, it's worth it though.
Yeah, but but how are you going to recoup that money back? For someone to have a private property that when they sell it, they can sell it for millions of dollars, but they allow that building to stay there?
We've got to take it. It's more than
find a way to get it back. We shouldn't be paying for that.
No. It's time to seize the properties. It's bin time. We have to get dramatic and drastic now. This is hurting us. The reputation of the place is dirt. Literally. Right? Literally. And it's going to be hard to get people to come back. And I heard you, right? People will say, oh, they have a new port. And there are going to be people on the ship say, no, that's okay. I've been there. What are they going to do? More hair braiders inside? I mean, that's not what's going to happen. The port has a wonderful plan. But people have been burned, and they're not going to come back. We've got so much work to do.
Well, they're going to come back because the ship is going to be there. Now, what needs to happen is to get them off the ship.
Yeah, how are you going to do this?
Yeah, advertising.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, who's going to do it? These people?
No, persons who have the stores downtown.
Oh! Mm-hmm. Okay. Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Dwight?
Doing well.
What's the lady name again?
Pamela. Good morning.
Dwight, you remember some time ago, I gave you, I think I gave C.A. Nuri and, what's her name, a plan for downtown Nassau that will revitalize the entire New Providence?
Okay.
Do you remember?
Sure.
Okay. Pam,
yes?
While you're there this morning, I want you to take a look at Fremont Street lighting shows videos, and that there alone, just put a Bahamian spin on it.
Okay.
It will revitalize the entire downtown. Okay?
Did you give it to the government?
It will have things for Bahamians to also do. Entrepreneurs, bar owners, shop owners, even the regular everyday Bahamian. Okay? Please take a look at that for me, please.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
All right. Yeah, lots of great ideas are out there. Lots to be done. We know that there are model cities that are very similar to us. That we aren't even trying. We aren't even trying. I mean, think about it. We've got all this culture here, but is there a place in the middle of the day that you could go and experience Bahamian music? Let's say on a Monday like this, if I just came off the ship.
There's a band on Bay Street.
You talking about the steel pan?
Yeah, well, I think the old
that's very Bahamian, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a band set up.
No, that's not. I mean, good for them. Good for them. But I mean, seriously, where could you go? Where could you go to hear music in the middle of the day if I wanted lunch? Is there going to be a band playing anywhere? Where can I get a real Bahamian experience? I mean, you can go to the fish fry and see the folks making the cod salad who have been here about as long as the cruise ships that arrived that morning. But yeah, I mean, seriously, where do you go? Where do you? What's happening? And what is it? Is there a ban on Bahamians making cod salad in the fish fry? Is that
No.
Is that it? Clearly, there's something up.
I think it goes back to what you said about the plan. There's no plan. There's no plan for it. And so while the tourists are coming, and that's because we're one of the most popular ports, they just happen to be here, there's not enough being done to encourage particularly our cruise ship passengers to spend more money, even stopover tourists, because the idea too is we don't want the stopovers to come and stay in the hotel. We want them to mingle in the community, spend money.
Obviously, you want them to
different
stay at
places.
the hotel because all we have now is mega resorts, and they are doing everything they can to keep the people.
Yeah, because we are not offering anything outside of the hotels. But from the hotel's perspective, of course, they want them to stay in the hotels. But as Bahamians and for economic activity and economic progress, we want them to come out of the hotel.
I don't think we do.
Yeah, I think most of us, once we understand the economic impact of them leaving the hotels and spending their monies throughout the country.
The fact that we've got so few standalone hotels, not resorts, right? So few now compared to a few years ago that this is not even a thing, right? We're not serious.
Yeah, I don't blame the hotels. They had to do that because I imagine their guests were complaining. When I come here, there's nothing to do, so they add on the theme parks or they add on the sea parks. Mm-hmm. I understand that, but I'm saying we need to do more.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
We do, but we're not. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything at all. And boy, let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Bless. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Palm said right. There's no systematic plan. Have you ever heard or lately any symposium from tourism bringing potential payment investors to the table on creating tourism product? I did a tour to Bonefish Pond yesterday, and I've been doing a tour every weekend to Bonefish Pond, and there's nobody else other than myself or the kayak, the young lady that has the kayak business out there. Mm-hmm. And so there's no plan. There's no plan in place. But Bahamians have to be aggressive in trying to create the product. They just can't wait on government or deciding that if they come my store downtown or they'll walk away. The taxi drivers are doing a lot of tours, but they're doing the same type of tour. Take them as quick as they can to the forts and all that. So I created a tour that take them over the hill. They buy tart from off West End Avenue. They touch Dilly and Foxhill. They take them Cowpen Road and buy cane and tasting. So it has to be us. We have to be very aggressive on how we produce the product.
Yeah. Well, you can't wait on them. Absolutely not. Not central government. Again, if this were a different system, we'd have a real firmly plotted out aggressive attack on what we are offering as a city, as an island, and same thing with Freeport. But we're just waiting for someone to wake up, one of our cabinet ministers or the big one to get it, the prime one to get it. And that's how we've been functioning as a people for 40-something years.
Mm-hmm. I think it's ingrained in us. It's cultural and it's ingrained in us. And so we have our leaders taking the helm and they continue on what has been doing without trying to look for new paths, a new vision.
Wild.
To bring about the change.
Doesn't spell well for the next 50 years, folks. Not good. Not good at all. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, Pat.
Hi.
Morning.
Very interesting conversation this morning, one that I'm also very passionate about. The 2 points I would like to raise this morning is simply this. Has the government met with persons from the entertainment industry, those who would also own stores and nightclubs, potential nightclubs in all of the areas of the island, so on and so forth? In other words, what I'm saying here is, the government that we have in the House basically should be the vehicle to drive business, not just on Bay Street. Because when you really look at Bay Street, it seems as if Bay Street now, today, was really designed to keep the average Bahamian off Bay Street. And that's why probably the malls were created. But if we were to get more Bahamians back on Bay Street, have them with their individual businesses on Bay Street, perhaps we could stimulate the economy once again. But going back to the original thought that I had when I first started the conversation, and that is we need to meet with these business persons throughout our communities that may have clubs or whatever. That's why I said, are they meeting? Have they met with the Chamber? Have they met with the Chamber of Commerce? Perhaps we can drive the business, people who are on the cruise ship, come off the cruise ship, into these areas like as they used to do back in the day.
Who do you think should be in that meeting? Who from the government should be in that meeting? Who do you think should be in that?
I think primarily Ministry of Tourism should be a part of this. I believe that the Ministry of even right down to social services to a point could be involved, because we're talking about now revitalizing the lifestyles and the environment of the Bahamian people. This component has been missing for quite some time. I close on this last point. The hotels. Whereas I understand that the average mega hotel or resort have been allowed to try to more or less contain their clients on their property. That also took away from the average person on the outside, because the person selling count salad, they get it on the property. This person doing count fruits, they get it on the property. And the activities are on the property. So why would the guests want to leave that property to come off to really try and have what we call an authentic Bahamian experience in our environment?
If there were something amazing out there, the guests would find a way to
Yeah, and a lot of these guests use social media.
They would know.
So if you
They
have a
would
good
want it.
product and
Yeah.
people are talking positive about it, and if you're putting stuff out there, they're seeing it and they would go.
If they
yeah.
heard that only here can you see this, and they're like, I need to get to this thing, even though this resort is fantastic. I need to go and see this before I leave. I'm like, yeah, but there is nothing.
I
nothing here
encourage
like
people
that
to try
now.
this. Go on TripAdvisor and Google sites in the Bahamas. Like, pretend that you're a tourist and you want to see what's available. And then look at some of those comments. When I did it a couple of years ago, it was like 2 years old. I didn't see a lot of recent stuff, right? Maybe it's changed. But you can get an idea of what people are saying about their visit here. Just go on social media.
Okay. This person says here, I agree with that texter that local government is unnecessary. No plan? Well, then just present one. You don't need to be in office to present solutions. Oh, my goodness gracious. This local government thing is about people wanting to be elected. The same people pushing it will be the same ones looking to be elected. Why not develop a new mindset in the people where we unite and make government work for us? I just want to throw the phone across. You're making me very angry. Nothing will change if we get local government other than more wasted salaries to undeserving people. So you think they should just disband local government in New York as well? You think they should just let Joe Biden and his secretaries in his cabinet decide everything? Should they be meeting with the business people in New York to decide what to do about crime and the activities for New Yorkers and Miami too? You think the president should meet with everybody and decide where things go? He should decide that this business should be in this state and that this one should be in that state versus... That's what you think that should happen there too, Texter? Or because the Bahamas is not good enough to be functioning like a real country, and that's fine. We'll be okay with a cabinet running the country. That's what you think, yeah? And that's what you prefer, because we're not worth it. That's what you're saying.
I just think with education, because you'll be surprised on other persons who cannot relate to local government being good for the city. They can't see it because maybe they don't have an experience of it, or they just can't see it. So I think with education, with presenting to persons cities where local government works and see how it can be done.
Everywhere. Every city.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you have to present it to people, because people aren't keeping up to date. Well, if local government is here and if it's working here, they just see a city or they see a country and they assume.
And they think the president or prime minister of the country has decided that this is going to be like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
If your experience, if all you have is your experience to go on, then it's easy for you to think that way.
Okay.
But so I think it just needs to be presented, and education and having some shows on it and showing how it works, I think can help.
I know. I totally agree with you. I agree with you. I'm saddened that people are thinking that. And the previous texter said that we're too small. Their country's smaller than us that have decentralized and they have local government, right?
Well, that's what they said about that's what they
one.
said about gaming. That's what they said about the lottery. We're too small to have a lottery, but then we put it in the hands of a select few.
Yeah.
Right? I think whatever number is raised is sufficient for our size.
Just present the ideas, they say. Well, have you ever heard anything so ridiculous in your life, Pam? Present the ideas. Present the ideas that they should seize the properties on East Bay Street, that they should turn these into districts where you have entertainment districts and you have theater districts and you have where clubs and all these things are happening, and there are cafes, like you said, that we have street vendors with unique Bahamian fare all over the area. Present the ideas, because that's all that people need to hear to make it happen, because this is the first time anyone's ever presented ideas to a government, because that's how it works here. You're new, texter, welcome to the Bahamas. Hope you stay here for a while.
Or welcome to the conversation.
Or something. But welcome, because you are new. But anyway. So, you think next year we'll still be talking about downtown being smelly and dirty and tourists laughing at us and making jokes on the talk shows and telling people about, I think she even said don't go. Did you hear her say that at one point? But again, not just her we're talking about. There's a whole lot of people who had a lot of unbelievable things to say. Well, believable things to say. And it is not the first time because we aren't doing anything about it.
Hopefully.
And plans are presented to the government every week. And yet we are still here because people are expecting these MPs to do something.
Hopefully, we get more persons that will see the wisdom of improving downtown because it provides for employment for our youth as well, and it can help the economy in terms of economic activity and economic growth. Hopefully, we can get that vision, and people would see it, run with it, and maybe next year we will not be having this exact conversation. Hopefully, next year we'll be looking at ways to further improve the product.
Decentralize. That's the only way this will work. You need on the ground local managers answerable to you. You put them there and you take them out. That is the only way. Not a company, not a cabinet minister. Local officials, and let them vote on the person with the best plan. And if they don't execute the plan, you got to get them out of there. That's the only way we're going to see the creativity of the people of this country and offer people from all around the world, including the people right here, something amazing when they go to every island. We cannot be here 50 years from now in 2073. We will never realize the full potential of this country if we continue along this path, ever. Pam, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwight, and have a blessed week, Bahamas.
I'll see you next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Sucked in by the sands of time, life moves way too fast. Hindsight so impeccable, but I'm no victim to my past. Such past